So, one of my new favorite hobbies that I have gotten into in the year 2023 is grading video games. For a long time, I've actually had a fascination with brand new old games, for lack of a better way of putting it. Like, this copy of Pokemon Silver here has been sealed and untouched by human hands for over 2 decades now, and I figured at some point, you know, if I'm going to own brand new games, I may as well get them sealed to protect them. So I made several videos already this year about some of my sealed video games. In fact, they're in the background in every single video I make. You can see them on my big CRT back there, some of my favorites. This is my favorite video game of all time, Pokemon Silver version. It just means a lot for me to own copies of them brand new forever that are never going to be opened up, just like the day that they were available on store shelves. There's just something fascinating to me about that kind of thing. And the company that I have been using to grade most of my games is WATA Games, which is famous and infamous, but hey, they have turned out really good results, so yeah, I really don't have any problems with using them these days. And I saw that they were going to be attending a Comic-Con that I'll be going to this upcoming Saturday called Collectathon in Denver, Colorado. WATA is going to be there in person, and I decided, you know what, I have a few games that I have been wanting to send off to get graded, and if I'm going to be there anyway, let's go ahead and do something I haven't seen anyone else on YouTube make a video about. Let's go ahead and test how their grading service works in person. So I have decided that the game that I will be giving to WATA at Collecticon in Denver is this. This is Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade for the PlayStation 5. I actually already have the original copy of Final Fantasy VII Remake for PS4, and it is graded by WATA and got a 9.8 A+ rating, which, if you know anything about PlayStation 4 games, that's about as best as you can hope for realistically with PS4 games, with their flimsy cases and really thin wrapping. There is absolutely zero chance that this will also get a 9.8 A+. Unfortunately, you can see here it's got a very small tear here at the top right. That alone might be enough to bring it all the way down to a B+, although I'm really hoping it can slip by and get an A seal. To the best that I could tell, this actually looks like it's in really good condition. I'm mostly just showing it off now to compare before and after, see you know, if they might have damaged it a little more in the middle of grading. I'm actually really annoyed by that rip, because without that, I think it genuinely had a chance at an A+ rating. You're probably wondering why I want to get this graded when I already have a copy on PS4, and well, there's a few reasons. The number one reason is just that this is actually a really hard game to find these days. Square only made a single print of this game. It is no longer sold in stores, and you have to pay a really lot of money in order to get a copy of it brand new these days, which is part of why I'm getting it graded even with that tear right there at the top. But also I have this plan of eventually, when all 3 games in the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy are released on PS5, to have all 3 of them on a shelf, side by side by side, and you know, no time like the present to get this one, and I'll get a second copy of FF7 Rebirth in February to ship off then. But the main reason I'm bringing this one with me all the way to Denver instead of just shipping it is because it already has a little damage on it. And I figure, hey, if it already has a little damage on it, then if it gets a little more during transit, maybe it gets scuffed in my backpack or something, then no big deal. It just seems like the absolute perfect candidate. You saw the condition, I'm ready to go. Let's go ahead and go to Denver and see how it goes. It is currently 10:35. The con's only been going for half an hour. I'm going to see if I can't drop off my game at WATA and just get that out of the way. And here's where the problems began. I wandered around the convention center for, I'm not exaggerating when I say 20 to 30 minutes trying to find WATA's booth, and to be fair, it was a rather large con, but still, I figured since they were advertising that they were going to be at the event, it would have been a little easier to find them. Oh wow, is that the line for PSA? Well, I'd hate to sit in line for so long just for them to not even grade my game. I'm just gonna see if I can sneak up and ask if This is where I can get my WATA submissions done. It doesn't look like it to me.
So they have a case. This is a larger variant. It's kind of closer to this.
Yeah, it looks like that is not where we drop off WATA submissions, so we gotta wander around a while. I have no idea where anything is. I actually found a total of 3 booths that were accepting PSA submissions, which was kind of insane to see. Literally dozens of people at the event that were accepting submissions and even grading cards on the spot, but it took me forever to find the one booth that WATA was in charge of. Okay, no, we figured it out. It's this booth way over here. No wonder I couldn't find it. All right, let's go. As I approached the booth, I was stopped by a very helpful assistant who informed me that the preferred way of dropping off the submissions was to first place an order on WATA's website, just like you would if you were at home. However, there was a laptop available if you wanted to use that, and I figured I came all the way to Denver to drop off a submission, so I may as well go through the full experience of using the laptop that they provided just to see how it would go. Well, it looks like they want for us to make a submission on the website, which, in all honesty, I don't know if I can do right now because my cell reception has been kind of spotty. Like, I'm having a hard time loading just about anything, so I might need to use their laptop anyway. For obvious reasons, I wasn't able to capture the screen during this event, but I can give you a basic idea of what happened. Basically, all that the laptop does is give you an opportunity to log into your WATA Games account on their website and place an order like you would normally at home. If you don't have a WATA Games account, you've got to create one in person, which makes sense, but I'm just very surprised that they didn't have a special form for in-person events like PSA does. Having to go through the submission process like you would at home feels like a waste of time and resources to me. Looks to be in about the same condition as before. This is probably a good time to mention that, as far as I could tell, there was literally only one person running the booth for WATA. It was a stark contrast to seeing all the dozens of PSA graders at the convention who were giving estimates and even in-person grades to cards right there in person, and then seeing this one WATA employee hanging around and not really having much to do besides just walk people through going through the website. I'm on the payment method and doesn't give me an option, send us your gold, and it says cannot determine. After going through the process of creating the order and submitting it, unfortunately my laptop had an error. I brought the employee over to look it over, and it was an error that not even he could figure out how to fix, even after a few minutes of both of us trying to figure it out.
Let's see, try logging into this one.
Alright. So he ended up having to go into the back room, grabbing his own personal laptop that he had brought to the event, and giving it to me to start the order all over again. I can't help but wonder, if he didn't have his laptop, would I have even been able to drop off my game at this convention?
So you're good to go. Let me help you out. It's far in over there, under that camera.
Okay.
So you just take the game over there, I'll help you out.
Alright. Sorry they asked for me to do this. Okay.
Let me get some bubble wrap for you real quick.
Alright.
This is your copy to keep.
Okay.
Otherwise, it would stay. So you should be good to go.
Alright, and done. I've got my receipt. Honestly, not much different than just doing it from home. In fact, I'm pretty sure I paid a lot more than I would have if I had from home, because if I had shipped it from home, I would have shipped like 4 games at once to make the shipping worth it. Here, since I only had 1 game, the shipping was half the cost of the game. I ended up paying like 75 bucks. Anyway, that's it. I submitted the game in person. I am going to fast forward now to whenever it arrives. And I'm going to intentionally hold off to see what the grade is until it shows up at my house. So it'll be just as big of a surprise for me as it is for you guys. Okay, as you can see, it is now October 17, a full 10 days later, and they just now have moved the game forward into grading. So, yeah, it took 10 days to get to this point. Usually whenever I send them a package, they start grading the very next day after it arrives. So this definitely takes longer than if I had just shipped it off to them. Alright, well, it's October 17 today, This is the last time I am going to check the order, and I'll let you know when it arrives. Okay, it is now October 31st, Halloween, and my box just arrived. And I'll say this is the fastest I've ever gotten a package. I just looked up the order, and yeah, this is the slowest option that I chose to get it graded. And here I am getting this back in a mere something like 15 days. I don't know if me dropping this off with them in person has anything to do with that or not. They didn't make a note of it. As far as I know, they treated this just like every other game they get, so maybe they just don't have that many games to grade this time of year. Let's go ahead and get this box open. I still don't know what the grade is. I have been holding off finding out until right now, so I'll do everything that I can to make sure I don't find out until we find out together. A lot of wrapping in here. Here, I'm just going to fast forward this footage to show you I am not looking at the grade as I take it out of its plastic wrap. Say what you will about WATA, they use plenty of bubble wrap. Okay, I think it's out. I'm just going to cover the entire top because I don't remember which side the grade is on. Okay, here it is, all graded in its protective slab. Oh boy, so I don't know what to expect. I'm hoping for a 9.8A. That's the best that it can realistically be. I think that the most realistic guess that I can give is 9.6A, and the worst it can be is a 9.6B+. I really hope it's not a B+ grade, but you guys saw the big hole in the shrink wrap, so here it goes, my in-person WATA submission of Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. Drumroll, please. $9.8A. Woo-wee! Yes! Oh my goodness, you could actually totally still see the, here, I'll try and get in the lighting, you can zoom in, you can totally still see the hole in the shrink wrap right there, but a 9.8A of Intergrade, oh my goodness. Whoo-wee, that was so stressful. Oh man, let's go. Yes! When I get the other two games of the FF7R trilogy on PS5, it's going to look so nice having this and then Rebirth and then Part 3 in a row on my shelf. Oh, I'm so happy about this. But now comes the part of the video where I say, was it worth it? Was it worth it for me to bring this and get it graded in person as opposed to just shipping it off? No. No, absolutely not. This would have probably gotten the exact same grade if I had shipped it. And as I said earlier, if I did ship this, I would have shipped this with a few other games that I was going to get graded anyway, just to make the shipping costs make more sense, because it was going to be like 25 bucks whether you send in 1 game or 10 games. I honestly thought that the shipping would be a lot better because I was dropping it off in person, but no. The process for dropping it off in person was basically identical to just shipping it, so yeah. Until WATA gets to the same point as PSA does, where they have people on site ready to look over the games and give you an accurate idea of what they'll grade for, or heck, even grading in person if that's possible. Until they get to that point, I just don't see a point in doing it. This was a lot of extra stress for me. It was not a very fun experience when I was at the convention. They had a booth that was off in a dark corner with a single employee and technology that I was lucky that it worked. If their stuff didn't work, then I wouldn't have been able to even drop off the game. I don't know how many people can say that they have dropped off a video game and got it graded in person. I am one of them. I really don't think that most people should. If WATA sees this video, hopefully they can use it and learn how to make the process better, because there probably are people who will want to grade their games in person, especially at gaming conventions. Probably not collectible card conventions, but gaming conventions. There's probably people who have sealed games that they will bring to WATA and say, I want to get this graded. And as long as WATA or CGC or VGA or whatever grading companies there are provide a good in-person experience, then I could totally see there being demand for it. With that being said, that'll bring this video to an end. I am just so happy that this, mostly I'm just happy that the blister didn't get all crooked like some of the earlier revisions of new WATA blisters have. 9.8, I'll take that. I will take that, man. Oh man, I'm so excited for this. Thanks everyone for watching, and stay tuned for more.